In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to demonstrate how if you have insomnia and you can't sleep at night and you see it starting to damage your health, destroy your performance, and potentially starting to destroy your life, here is how you can actually change it once and for all. Start getting the deep, relaxing sleep that you need and deserve. I'm making this video now because a lot of people are asking how it's possible that so many people who have severe issues with things like insomnia and have tried many things, including medicines, therapy, coaching, hypnotherapy, and nothing has worked so far. How is it that these people end up experiencing a total transformation that enables them to have deep, restorative sleep every night and improved health, improved performance, more happiness, and appreciation for life? Apparently, a lot of people would like to know, how is that possible? And I'd have to say that I would prefer to keep that confidential, why this keeps happening. I don't want to reveal too much details of why that happens. Because, for instance, if I say the name of a method that I might use, many people will automatically trigger a mental process called the label and dismiss strategy. It's a common but partly unconscious process designed to create self-sabotage. Now, does anyone consciously create self-sabotage? No. Here's how it works. Once you hear the name of a method, listen, see if you hear the name of a method. Then when you hear it, you can label it. Once you label it, you can dismiss it as something that doesn't work. And you could say, meds don't work. Nervous system reset, that doesn't work. Proven methods to reset the nervous system, oh, that doesn't work. Or you could label anything and say it doesn't work. And the unconscious benefit that causes people to do that is that it relieves a person of having to actually do something and take responsibility for getting results yourself. So that's one of the ways that people sabotage themselves unconsciously in order to not get success in life in general. Now, this is a fascinating thing to discover in yourself because nobody wants to sabotage themselves, and yet people are doing it all the time. Now, for instance, here is why people say things like, I tried therapy, I tried breathing, I tried hypnotherapy, I tried breath work, it didn't work. Well, this is a part I don't want to openly reveal to the public because then people will know a little bit more about the real secret of how to make total life transformations. Now, this information is known all throughout the world, and you could discover that the secret of why things like NLP is one of the most popular transformation methods in the world, or why some of the methods taught with fancy sounding scientific names like polyvagal or somatic trauma awareness breathwork, trauma informed coaching, or why is it that these are all working for thousands of people all over the world and have been for decades, regardless of how many people are sitting around complaining about nothing works. The hopelessness and the complaining that people are experiencing, it may be real to them, but it's not going to change the fact that it does work and is working for many people. Now, when you decide that it's time to take control of your own bodily functions, like nervous system, if you have a nervous system that stays in alert mode for too long, people who are lying awake, their minds are continuing to run, their body is in a state where the nervous system is triggered, and they're staying in that state. That is controllable. It's possible to control that. Now, when a person decides that the results that they have been getting are not what they want, and they decide that in order for this change to happen, they'll do whatever is needed to cause the change to happen. This is the first principle that really made this type of shift real to me, was when I began to understand that this commonly taught principle, I am the cause of my results, and I have the power to change the result. For instance, a person could come to me and say, I'd like to become a pro football player. And when we meet, I might ask them, well, how many hours a day are you practicing throwing a football, or you're practicing your tackling or other important skills related to pro football? How many hours a day are you practicing that, and what other things are you doing to make this a reality in your life? And the person might say, well, I just want you to snap your fingers and say you're a pro football player. And then if that doesn't work, then I can just go away and say, coaching doesn't work, hypnotherapy doesn't work. Well, that would be kind of ridiculous, right? But people are doing this all the time with things that are in their control, modifications of their behavior, like losing weight. If you would like to lose weight, you may have a behavior where your hand comes up to your mouth like this, and you're eating a food. So you would take your body and you would modify the behavior. So the foods that are causing you to be overweight, you're going to now not eat them, and you're going to do this other thing with your body where you're getting cardiovascular exercise, and you're doing it every day. So if you do that with your body, and that's your behavior, and now your behavior has been modified, that's how it works. If a person has insomnia, for instance, the first step is to realize and believe that it is possible for each person to learn to control the unconscious functions of the body, like the rate of the heartbeat and the way that the nervous system gets triggered unconsciously, and it causes us to stay in alert mode for hours when we would like to sleep. It happens unconsciously, but it is possible to control that. Now, the first time that I heard this was in a book by Yogananda, who was a master of yoga, and he explained that it is possible for a person to alter the heartbeat rate through certain breathing methods. Later, I saw this was demonstrated in the practice of Kung Fu and Qigong. And then I discovered that the condition of not being able to sleep, in spite of the fact that people believe it's something they can't change, it is possible to change. So this is the first step. If a person cannot sleep and they're starting to see damage to their health and destroying of their performance every day, and something seriously destroying their life with agonizing, unending misery and suffering, without being able to get this natural, deep sleep that restores and heals the body. Not only does every person need deep sleep to keep their body healthy, every person deserves to have rest and relaxation and a certain number of hours of deep sleep to be able to perform during the day. You deserve this, and you deserve to live and be healthy and fulfill your purpose in life. Right? Sleep is something that every person needs. And you may think you're just not someone who sleeps at night. That's who you are. That's your identity. Or maybe it's your genes. Or you may believe that there's nothing you can do about it. Somehow you may have been taught that there's nothing you can do about it. That's just how you are. Even though you have a job working during the day, you may believe that I'm just a person who can't sleep at night. You may think that's just the way you are. And that's just the way you were made, and you can't control it. Now, if that belief is okay with you and you would like to keep that belief, then make sure that you do not make an appointment with me. But if you would like to change that belief, not just the belief, but the actual functions of your body, what is happening inside of your body, if you would like to change that, then you definitely need to meet with me, and I will help you to make that change. So try this experiment. You take two people and have them take in a deep breath. We're going to do some certain methods. Take a deep breath and do some other methods, and then you're going to hook them up to some brainwave scanning equipment, some heart rate monitoring equipment stuff. We're going to do a thorough scientific study. What we're going to find out. In fact, we're going to take 1,000 people in Group A, 1,000 people in Group B, and in Group A, people believe that it's possible to change their bodily function. And in Group B, the people don't believe that it's possible to change their bodily functions. So then we're going to test them, and what are we going to find out? That when certain methods happen, it's going to affect physiologically all the people, regardless of whether they believe it or not. So you can be an unbeliever and still get the same physiological results of breath work, progressive relaxation, yoga, nervous system reset. Now, try this experiment. We got this other experiment we're going to do, and what you're going to do is you're going to take 10 years and learn to practice Kung Fu and yoga. No, better yet, we're going to take 1,000 people, again, Group A, 1,000 people in Group B, who don't believe in the effects of Kung Fu or yoga. We have a little problem here, and there's a problem with doing that experiment, and the problem is that those people are not likely to practice doing Kung Fu for 10 years. Now, I'm not saying it takes 10 years to relieve yourself of insomnia, but if you want to master Kung Fu, that might be a reasonable amount of time you want to do it. You're not going to be able to do that if you haven't been convinced you've seen something that was amazing that made you want to do it. If you have experienced something that made you want to do it, then you would practice it for 10 years. How long does it take to relieve yourself of insomnia? That's up to you. Find out how much time it will take you to do that. So from that point of view, it would help if you decide to become a person who masters Kung Fu, that you will start off having an interest and you're already convinced that it works and you have seen some amazing things that caught your attention and convinced you. So it is important to have some reason why you believe there are definite benefits for doing what produces good results in order for you to even consider doing it. So if you don't believe that you can change the unconscious functions of your body and your nervous system, like I say, don't make an appointment with me because I don't have time to convince you that it works. And I'm not really interested in doing that. Just have another drink, take a pill, keep on doing whatever you've been doing. But I can understand if you aren't convinced about whether there's enough proof regarding what works, I can help you. I can give you some keywords you can type into Google and find out, okay, that works. Now you can proceed. Because the things that I'm talking about are known to work. There's decades evidence, many examples that will show you, yes, this works. If you don't know that it works, that's okay. If these methods are known and have been known for decades that they work, it's really not my responsibility to convince people of what is already known. When it comes to the skill of controlling the functions of your body, these things can be changed by knowing specific methods for accomplishing that, and then doing those methods regularly over time. As a mind-body coach, hypnotherapist, I would not be able to snap my fingers and cause that to happen to you. I would not be able to say some words and cause that to happen to you and cause you to have mastered that skill. But I can provide the training and demonstrate and get you started and show you how to do it. If that describes you, I could definitely help you to accomplish mastering that skill that you decided you want and you choose to do. If that describes you, it would be very useful and extremely valuable for you to make an appointment with me and discuss this and begin the process today.